Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of the Maryland Living Podcast. Today, you have just John and I.
It's just us, Megan.
My stomach already hurts from laughing.
Yeah, we should
have hit record like an hour ago.
Yeah, when we were discussing what we were going to discuss.
Sometimes it's not always appropriate, though.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right.
So there would have been a lot of heavy editing.
There would have been a lot of editing.
Colonoscopies and,
et cetera.
Et cetera. I started to go think through the list. I was like, you know what? No.
So I'd like to give a shout out to our colleague, Olga Tilley. I guess it was the last podcast that we did.
Yeah.
Olga sat in with us at the last minute and did a great job.
She did.
We'd like to bid a fond hello to our buddy, Pete FETTIG. He is not with us today. He's helping.
Sounds like he's dead.
Yeah, R.I.P. Pete. No, he's
no longer with us.
No. He's on the Eastern Shore, he's like as far south on the Eastern Shore as you can go and still be in Maryland, helping a family member / client coordinating a move.
Yeah, so you guys had a listing there, right?
Yeah, we had a listing. It was a horse farm, and Pete's doing some dirty work today. So thanks, Pete, for doing the dirty work. So
and he's off the hook for the podcast.
Yeah.
So we're taking a little break today from our normally scheduled. We were planning today to talk about, I guess it was our fourth installment
of America in Miniature.
Yeah.
We were going to focus on the D.C. suburbs of Maryland, PG, and Montgomery County. But we thought it'd be good if we delayed that when we have a full table again, whether it's Pete. It would be nice to have Pete, and I think we should try to get Olga in for that one too. I mean, she's from there, as we heard in the last podcast. So
yeah, and she knows a lot about that area. We have some good things to share. We kind of already had sort of started talking about it, and I'm excited to talk about it. And then we also talked a little bit about having a future episode with our kids.
Your kids.
My kids, who are 10 and 12, and then also our broker's grandchildren. Our producer's children. Yeah. She also has young children about my kids' age, and we thought it would be really fun for them to come on and share what they love about Maryland and some of their favorite things to do. So
I was talking to their grandmother, who they call Granny.
Oh.
And
what are you called?
Mr. Reynolds.
That's what you have your granddaughter call you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm granddad.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I was talking to our CEO, who is our producer's grandmother, and she wants to
producer's mother.
Oh, yeah.
Wendy's not going to like that.
She's not going to like that I called her Granny either. All right, let's start over. So I was talking to our CEO, who is our producer's mom. Mm-hmm. So the grandmother of our producer's kids, who are going to be on the podcast.
Right.
And when she heard we were doing this yesterday, she wants to get name tags for the 4 kids.
Oh.
Yeah. She thought that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
We should make a big deal about it for them because it's cool. I mean, I know my son listens to the podcast for some reason.
I respect, it's Aiden that listens to it, right?
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, he likes it. So
how's he doing with his phone?
We have a lot of discussions. Did I tell you about when he called, or did I share on the podcast? I don't know if I even told you about how he went to a friend's house and the friend's mom let me know that there was a bunch of 12-year-old boys there and that they were prank calling McDonald's. Did I tell you about this?
No.
Okay, so they were prank calling McDonald's, and apparently one of the times that they called, the person at McDonald's said, "We have your phone number and your address, and we're sending the police to your house."
Nice.
So, but they were at a friend's house, so they were calling from my son's phone. So when my son came home, I said, "Hey, the police were here looking for you."
Good mom.
Yeah, and they were not, but I wanted to scare him straight.
Did it work?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh yeah, he was terrified, and he brings it up to this day. And a part of me feels bad, but most of me feels like this is some A+ parenting on my part.
No, I think Mom of the Year.
Yeah,
I think that's really good.
I think so.
But other than that, he's doing pretty okay with his phone.
He's doing okay with it. Yeah, I check it at least every couple of days, I take a look and see who he's texting. And
speaking of phones, I did an update to my iPhone.
Okay.
So I was running iOS 18, and Apple somehow decided to release iOS not 19 but 26.
Oh my!
So I have the new iOS 26, and it's called Glass.
Okay.
And
is it fancy?
I'm not sure I like it.
Ooh, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, everything is like clear and kind of monochromatic. It's different. It's going to take some
Although for
used
you
to.
Who cannot really see colors anyway.
Well, and that is true. And actually, iPhone has a setting for colorblind people. Everything's black and white.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So,
gosh,
anyway,
it would take me forever to find anything in there.
Well, I'm a guy. Speaking of phones, have I told you about Lampy?
No.
So
I can't even imagine where this is going.
Well,
Continue.
It's not that big a deal. So
okay.
My wife and I are empty nesters, right? Mm-hmm. And the last few weeks have been very busy at the house with our kids visiting, our granddaughter, and coming in from out of town. And the last week or so, it's just been Valerie and I.
Right.
And it's great, but I think we're getting kind of bored.
Okay.
So my wife, who loves to take on projects, she found an old brass lamp that her parents had.
Okay.
She brought it home, and it's been sitting on our kitchen island for like a week and a half.
Okay.
I guess as Valerie's like envisioning what she wants to do with it. And so I get up before her in the morning.
Okay.
And it's there on the kitchen island, and I walked by it, and I grabbed a clementine from the fruit basket and just put it on top.
Okay.
And that was it. I went to work. I came home later, and when I came home that night, I walked into the kitchen, and Valerie had drawn eyes onto the clementine.
Okay.
So she had a face. So the next morning, I one-upped her, and I found a little measuring cup, and I put it on top of the clementine's head so she has a hat.
Wow. Okay.
This has been going on all week.
Wow.
Do
you have a picture of?
I actually do, and I'm going to share it in the show notes, and I'll show it to you.
Okay.
I'll show you the progression of, we named her Lampy. Okay. And Lampy now has, I came home from work last night, and Lampy had hands.
Oh, my God.
And I woke up this morning, and Lampy was wearing a dress. Valerie
you guys
may
need a hobby.
Yeah, she in the middle of the night at some point, she went into the basement into our daughter's old like toys and found a doll.
Okay.
And put the so let me show you Lampy.
Oh my God.
This is after the face, the hat, and the hair.
Wow.
Right?
That's awesome.
Gets better. Came home from work last night. Lampy had hands.
That's amazing. I guess I was thinking Lampy had a shade, but no, this is even better without the shade.
Woke up this morning. And Lampy's in the dress.
Now, have you guys discussed this? Or
No.
just
Well, we laugh at each other about it, but like there's no plan. Like you just
do it.
So I couldn't think of, I think this is the completion of Lampy because I can't think of anything else to add.
Wait, hold on. We got to think of something good.
All right.
I'm going to think about it.
Okay, let me know. Maybe not in the podcast because we want to surprise her.
Okay. And she so often is a frequent listener.
But for the people that actually do listen, I will put the Lampy pictures in our show notes.
I feel like Lampy may need some shoes of some sort.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. We'll work on that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
This is because John loves to say, is this a valuable use of our time? And I would say this is absolutely not a valuable use of our time.
Yeah, but sometimes those less than valuable uses of time are usually the best.
They really are. They are.
Yeah, so that's the story of Lampy. The legend of Lampy, the folklore of Lampy. Speaking of folklore, I heard a really interesting story about you.
Oh, Lord.
And some folklore.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Why do I share these things? Because then you and Pete use them against me later on.
No, it's just great. It's great entertainment.
No, I am afraid to share this story, as I mentioned to you previously, because this is probably the most blonde thing I've ever said. But no, my sister and I were talking about, I can't even remember, we were talking about, gosh, what's the name of that? Like
American history.
American history,
Okay.
yes. Now, if you know me at all, you know that history of any sort is not my forte.
Right.
I was homeschooled and really was like a self-guided learner. And so my parents were like, whatever you want to learn is fine by us.
History wasn't one of those
History
things.
never made the short list, which really became quite a problem when I went to college because apparently you have to take history.
Yeah.
And it just really is not for me. Although now I'm kind of getting a little more into it.
Well, you're surrounded by history people.
Oh my gosh, my husband is obsessed with history. My son loves history.
Yep.
And I like watching them get into it. And I love it when my son shares facts about our country that I've never even heard of before.
So tell me about this one person.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So there's this one person, my sister and I were talking, and I was like, who is the name of that guy? He chopped down the tree, an apple fell on his head, and he invented electricity. And I'm never going to live this down. And now, unfortunately, I've shared it with you, and now Pete's going to hear it. And
with our millions of international listeners.
I'm always going to be known as the person who took, who is it? George Washington,
Ben Franklin,
and Sir Isaac Newton, and combined them into one person.
Into one. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, let's just cut right to the chase here.
What are you going to do?
Anyway, so today we thought it would be fun, since we don't have Pete and we're not going to jump into the last installment of America Miniature, that we're going to maybe just share a little bit about ourselves. Now, I did not plan on sharing that story.
Sorry, surprise.
But maybe just a little bit about our history and why we got into real estate.
Yeah. One thing I realized today, Megan, is we've been doing this for 9 months.
Yeah.
We've been a little bit hit or miss with our recording.
Summer's hard, yeah.
Summer's harder than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah. But, I think come September, we'll get back into our normal our rhythm of regular podcasts and some great guests. I haven't even really talked to you about it, but I have come across a couple of people that I think would make some great guests. And
really?
They've asked to be on the podcast, and I think have something to offer. And I love just even if they're not sharing something about Maryland, just hearing unique stories from Marylanders.
Absolutely.
But I think you have kind of an interesting story I think your whole story is just interesting, but
why?
Wow, really put me on the spot.
I'm but a simple man, Megan.
No, but I just think maybe it's just the way you tell it too is interesting. But you you grew up in the area, which is not. I didn't grow up here, and so you have a unique perspective on particularly Columbia and Howard County, and just how you got into real estate. I think is cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure which version of the story I've told you.
I mean, I think I've heard there are a couple of versions. I mean, they're all different pieces of the story.
So you're right. I'm from Maryland.
Yeah.
I spent my early childhood in the DC, like in Prince George's County in that area. And then as an older, like a preteen or whatever, we moved to Howard County to Columbia. So I really kind of grew up in Columbia. Went to high school in Columbia, met my future wife in Columbia, and so my ties with Howard County are really deep.
Yeah.
Still have family there. How I got into real estate. I did property management for a long time, for many years, and it was the whole corporate thing, and I did okay in it. I mean, but I didn't love it. There was nothing like edifying about it. It was just a job, and and so I ended up, unfortunately, I worked for a company that was doing some shady stuff. And I found out about it and got out.
Yeah.
And I'd always wanted to be a real estate agent. I think part of it was I just liked houses.
Yeah.
And I always wondered why I liked houses. I don't know if I've told you
this.
So my mom divorced my dad when I was really young. And I'm the oldest of 3.
Right.
And it's like the early 70s. And she's young. Like she had 3 kids by the time she was 25 or 26.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So we moved in with my grandparents, with her parents.
Okay.
And as any young person living with their parents would do, especially a young person with 3 little kids, she wanted to get the hell out of that house as often as she could. So on weekends, she would put us in the car and we would drive around and go to open houses and look at model homes.
Really? Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, and I really think that's where it came from.
Okay. So how long did you live with your grandparents?
Until I was for 5 or 6 years.
Oh, okay.
For a good amount of my childhood.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Mom remarried and happily ever after.
Right.
All that.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I come by real estate naturally. My father was always super into real estate.
Yeah.
And he became an agent for a little while.
That's right.
He had a really kind of weird experience, and they were at the settlement table on a property, and there came up a conversation. I think it was either a chandelier or a mirror, and the two people got into a fight. The buyer and the seller got into a fight over this item. Again, I can't remember, a chandelier or a mirror, and they walked away.
Really?
And that was my father's last day in real estate. Because this can be a challenging business when it comes to things like that. There are a lot of variables and unknowns, and
That's interesting. I remember, and this is before I got my real estate license, when Valerie and I bought our first house. We had our agent, and the listing agent was this older woman. She'd been doing business for quite some time. Tragically, she ended up getting murdered doing real estate many years later.
Really?
But I remember being at that settlement, and it was like we were invisible. It was like the people who were actually buying and selling the homes were meaningless because our two agents were yelling at each other.
Oh, wow.
About the commission they were getting paid.
No.
Yeah, and I was like, no, there's got to be a better way to do this.
People for years, I worked for Bank of America for 13 years doing mostly things connected with credit cards, like in call centers. But then the last few years was in a financial center. I'd opened a couple of locations in Annapolis for Bank of America, which I really enjoyed doing. And there were times I really liked managing the people, but I always liked the financial aspect because it feels like you're dealing with something really important. You are. This is people's finances. And very similarly, when it comes to buying and selling real estate, this is the most important transaction someone will make, is buying and selling a home. So that feels really good to help people
absolutely
through that process. But I've always had people say, oh, you should get into real estate. And it was always kind of something on my radar. But but that kind of, to your point, the reason I got into it is I remember we had purchased a house in Annapolis, and I just remember wishing that the agent, I did a lot of the work, right? I was the one doing the research, and I was the one, figuring out how to do this or how to do that. And I remember thinking, well, what's he getting paid for? I'm doing all the work.
I know.
And it was a really challenging transaction, and it would have just gone, it just would have been great. Like Bank of America has this mentality about we go above and beyond. And that's kind of something I do with my own real estate career, because that's what people need sometimes.
Yeah.
They need somebody who's not just going to, shuffle along through the transaction.
I've seen you mow lawns at your listing.
Yeah.
Pete is helping our clients move today.
And that makes a huge difference.
It does. And unfortunately, and I think that's why you're so good at what you do and why you were such a natural addition to our team is because you get it. You said something a moment ago about how important a real estate transaction is.
Yeah.
You're dealing with what is likely that person's, they're either divesting themselves of their most valuable asset or they're purchasing what will be their most valuable asset. And on our team, we throw around the word fiduciary a lot.
Yes. I was thinking about this last night, actually.
And that's a really important legal thing.
Yeah, it is.
Our job is to protect our clients' money and to negotiate on their behalf.
Yeah.
And, not to dog the rest of our industry or our colleagues in the industry, but I just wish that more agents, and there are many out there, but I just wish that all realtors out there took that fiduciary responsibility as seriously as we do.
Yeah. And sometimes I think, there are just some bad realtors out there who do the wrong thing. And then there's people that maybe just don't know what the right thing is, because this can get complicated, or they don't know where to get the answers from. I mean, we don't have the answers to every single thing that comes up because there's so many possible variables.
Right.
But you want to be in business with somebody, or, having your agent be someone who is willing to go to the ends of the earth to figure out what that answer is. And if that's not your agent, then you need a new one, because
absolutely.
Yeah, it's not good. But I didn't tell you this. An old client of mine, for a house that I sold, I guess last year, reached out to me because he moved out of state, but he's thinking about getting into real estate. And he said, I learned so much when you sold our property.
Oh, wow.
And so I think I want to get started in real estate. He's like, how do you like it? And it wasn't something we'd really start with. We hadn't discussed it.
Yeah.
And I said, it's really funny. I love this so much that I don't even feel like I'm working.
I know.
And at the end of like a transaction with a client, I'm like, and I get paid too.
I know.
And that's when you really love what you're doing.
Yeah. I remember, I think the kids call it, what do they call it? Sunday scaries or whatever it is. That feeling in your stomach, like on a Sunday afternoon.
Dread.
That dread, you have to show up at the office on Monday. And I remember even in corporate jobs that I had that I really liked, I would get that feeling.
Yeah.
Like I would think, oh crap, I have to be at work tomorrow. And that was such a buzzkill.
Yeah.
I never ever have that feeling
Me
now.
neither.
Like oftentimes it's Sunday and I'm like, I wish this day would be over so I could go to work.
I get to go to work tomorrow.
I know.
Yeah.
And like see some of my favorite people and help clients and
you love problems too.
I
love it.
Challenge.
Yeah. Which I think this job can be full of that. I mean, no one transaction. I know you've said this, so I'm stealing it from you. No, there's not two transactions that are going to be similar. They can be very different, and so new things will come up. And that kind of makes it fun.
I think it makes it really interesting. As you said, no transaction is the same. We get to interact with really interesting people. We only have to work with people that we want to work with, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But to answer your original question, so I ultimately got my real estate license and ended up, I was very fortunate. I was just in a really good position. The timing was right. I had my own RE/MAX brokerage right here in Anne Arundel County. And, it was like the good days. It was before the market crash. So everything was on fire in a good way. It was great. And I was competing against this upstart company that had opened down the road called Keller Williams Flagship.
Okay.
And no one knew who the hell Keller Williams was.
Okay.
We weren't worried about Keller Williams because we were RE/MAX. And then one day the market crashed. It's like late November, 2007. Yeah.
I can almost remember where I was when the market crashed.
I just remember waking up one morning in like late October, late November of 2007, and everything that had been reality the day before was now suddenly different. Yeah. So what I realized pretty quickly, to my chagrin, was that the business model of my RE/MAX brokerage was not sustainable.
Interesting. Okay.
So I divested myself of my small ownership piece, and guess where I came? I came down the road to my competitors here, Keller Williams Flagship, and that was, it's almost 20 years, 18.
Oh, wow.
It's been a long, long time. Got back into real estate sales, like on the street, helping buyers and sellers, because I'd been in a brokerage managing agent's position for a number of years. So it was cool to actually be back helping buyers and sellers, but I wanted a team.
Okay.
But I didn't want like a regular team. And I had reasons for that. I need accountability because I can be pretty undisciplined if I'm left to my own devices. And so I didn't want to be the team leader with a bunch of agents working under me who were beholden to me or felt they were beholden to me because they weren't going to hold me accountable.
Okay.
The same way a partner would.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking about this. I was like, maybe I should have a business partner, because that's like built in. You don't get more accountable than that 50-50 partnership.
They're going to be looking for you if you don't show up at the office.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I was, at the time, our CEO had put me in charge of the training and productivity here at Keller Williams flagship. And I was in charge of making sure that the new agents that came in were trained and that they knew their stuff. And I would tell the same thing. I had the same line to all of these agents.
Yeah.
I'd meet with them. We'd go over their goals, their business plan, all of that. And I'd say, look, I have an office.
Yeah.
And there's an empty desk in there. And there's no lock on the door. And probably the best way for you to learn is to be in the office as much as possible. So please feel free to come into my office, sit at that desk, work, listen to me interacting with clients, with colleagues, et cetera. I think you'll learn a lot. And I said that to every single agent that I met in training.
For a while, right?
It was a few years.
Yeah.
And none of them ever did it.
They never took you up on the offer.
Ever. Not one single one.
Okay.
And then our CEO contacts me and says, hey, John, there's this new guy. We met with him. He wants to sign up. He wants to get on board. He's full-time. He's quit his job to be a full-time realtor. His name's Pete. Can you reach out to him? So I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I let quite a few days go by before I felt the urgency to contact him. So I contacted him. And we scheduled a meeting in the old office where we used to be. And I was late. In fact, I think I had to...
You don't say.
Shocker. Yeah. So I think I actually rescheduled once and then showed up late. But he was there and we had a really good chat. One thing I'll never forget that he said, I was like, so your name's Peter. Do you go by Peter or Pete? And he said, well, my friends call me PJ. And I said, well, what should I call you? And he said, you can call me Pete. But he didn't say it with any humor. Like, oh, okay, fine. So that's, so I gave him the line about my office and the empty desk and all of that. And I was looking forward to working with him. He seemed like a solid guy. And the fact that he was full time and that he had also just gotten married. So it was like ride or die for him.
Okay. He had to make this work.
And I walked in the office the next day, and who was sitting at that empty desk?
Okay.
It was Pete, and he never left.
Still there.
Yeah, and so we started working very closely together because I was his mentor.
Yeah.
And, within a year, I was like, this guy would be a good business partner. So we talked about it, and that's how we became business partners. That's how the Reynolds FETTIG group started, and it's been great.
And now how many years has it been?
12, 13 that we've been working together.
And this is the longest standing partnership in the history of Keller Williams flagship.
Yeah. And it's been great. I'm a better agent because of the partnership. I'm a better agent because I get to work with people like you and the rest of the team. So from my limited perspective, it's been a really big win.
I think you guys complement each other really well, as any partnership should. I think you guys definitely bring different things to the table, but are also on the same page about things too. He brings the zing, yes. I always joke that when I am faced with a problem, depending on what the problem is, it's who I decide to call. Yeah. I either call you or Pete, but it really just depends on the problem.
Yeah,
what answer do I? Mood. In my mood, and what do I want to tolerate today?
So tell our listener what the difference is.
I know you asked me this. Well, let me go back for a second. One of the reasons when I joined, let's talk about me for a second.
No, let's please do. We've talked about me far too much.
Kidding.
Yeah.
No, but I got my real estate license, and I knew that I wanted to be on a team because of that accountability piece. Because I am also the type of person. If it weren't for you guys, I probably would just still be hanging out at my house trying to figure out how to get this real estate thing started. Because I would not have considered myself a self-starter now. And I just thought that's how I was, but I really have trained myself, I think, now to kind of get that motivation. It's taken several years, but I think I really could do it on my own, but not on my own, but like I could do it. I could get myself started.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But I knew that I wanted to be on a team, but I didn't want to just be on any team because I do see a lot of people join teams and leave.
Yeah.
And I don't know that people really do their due diligence to figure out, is this a good fit for me and why?
Well, and not to interrupt you, we're going to get right back to you, but that is kind of a misconception in the industry. Unfortunately, people will see a very successful, productive agent and assume that because that agent is so productive, that makes them a good leader. And it doesn't.
Oh, no.
And I'm not saying that Pete and I are all that.
Yeah.
But I think we recognize that. And I think that's one of the reasons that we see this kind of churn and burn, like a revolving door with a lot of teams.
We've seen that a lot. But for me, something that really kind of goes back to my Bank of America days, something that is incredibly critical for me is to work with people who have integrity. And that's not something that I'm willing to compromise on, because we are dealing with finances, and it's important that we're honest and that we're trustworthy people. And so I want to make sure that I partner with honest, trustworthy people. Right. And anyway, you were teaching a class here at the office, and I kind of got to know you. But one thing I really loved was that when I expressed to you that I wanted to be on the team, you were not like, sure, come on over. You were like, no, we're going to give it some time and see.
Did I really?
Yeah, you were like, we're going to date for a little while.
All right.
And we're going to see if this works. And then if we'll date for a few months, and then maybe we'll get engaged. And I liked that, because that told me that you were a prudent business person who didn't just work with anyone. And I don't want to just work with anyone. Yeah, you want to know who you're working with, because all of us on this team work really closely together. And we
really do.
And with each other's clients.
Right.
And if I'm working with a client and I'm being very honest with them, or we have a relationship, I want them to know the whole team.
Pete and I get accused sometimes of being too careful about who we choose to work with, be in business with, and be friends with. I mean, because ultimately we're working that closely. We do care deeply about everyone. We all do. And that, we should be growing our team faster because, there's financial reward for doing that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And maybe we are too careful, but I would rather be slow and steady and only work or choose to work with those people that everyone on the team wants to work with than to rush it and disrupt the team. Because that is one thing that I'm really proud of, and it has little to do with me. It has to do with the team. You guys are a good bunch.
Well, I think we're cohesive.
Yeah.
And if there's a problem, we work it out.
Right.
We don't all agree, and we do all have, somewhat different philosophies on things, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think we are all honest people who really care about our clients and care about this business and care about each other enough to, do the right thing.
Yeah. And we want...
And support each other,
That's
too.
the thing.
Yeah.
And really... want each other's success a lot.
Yeah, we do, which is kind of weird for realtors.
It is weird for realtors, but it's great for our team, and I think it just... I love
But to
our
go
team.
back to answer your question, why do I call? Sometimes I call you, and sometimes I call Pete. You give the very straightforward. It's almost as if you're reading from the book of real estate.
The book of real
and
estate.
Pete will give his commentary.
Yeah.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But no, you're very like, this is so. If I need a quick, fast answer, then I call you.
All right.
If I need a little bit of commentary to liven it up a little bit, I call Pete.
All right.
If I want to be berated, if I'm in that mood, I also call Pete, because Pete, you'll sugarcoat things a little bit.
Yeah.
Pete couldn't sugarcoat something if his life depended on it.
Right. But that's that's his unique charm.
It is. But I love that about him, and I think it's
he's
funny.
Like, is it the elephant that never forgets?
Yes.
He never forgets.
I've noticed that.
An opportunity to insult.
Oh yeah.
It's hilarious.
No,
absolutely.
It's awesome. Absolutely.
That's
but it's all in fun for the most part. I think anyway.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad we went down this path of memory lane. I love the Pete story of how he joined the team.
Yeah.
Because going back to your point, it's important, and advice to other agents or people out there who want to be agents is you really need to be around other agents to learn the business.
Yeah. I mean, if you think that you can be successful, a lot of people get into real estate because, I'll be my own boss. I can set my own hours, and they end up kind of existing in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Without training, without support, without that camaraderie and that like collegiality, and they end up selling smoothies in the Columbia Mall,
or working at Home Depot,
right. Which God bless both of those professions.
Right.
But they're not achieving what their goal was, which was to be a successful realtor.
Yeah.
So
people get discouraged really easily in this business.
Yeah, I mean, it's rare to have immediate success in real estate because you're literally building your own business. You're building a brand. And because of that, to echo where you were going, you need to have people around you that care and will support you.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad we talked about that. It's fun. I'm glad we're here and I like it. And
I like it too.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. And we have like you said, we have a really good team of great people.
We do. And we're always looking for more great people.
Yeah. There's new agents or people coming over from other brokerages. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Anything else we want to share about this real estate journey?
Can't think of anything.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we did this today. Next time we're going to be talking about Maryland again. Yeah. And then we're going to have the podcast with the kids, and then we'll get some special guests, some more special guests on.
Yeah, so. I saw the band Mallow Hill.
Oh yeah, okay.
And shame on me, they came up to me during one of their breaks and they're like, "So when are we going to be on the podcast?"
We got to do it. Let's do it.
Oh, and also my daughter's boyfriend.
He's
Nick,
a podcaster, right?
Like he earns a legit living. That's his gig. His full-time gig is he's a professional podcaster. And he's offered to sit in with us too. So
I'd love that. Yeah. I met someone recently who's a Maryland police officer. He does special training for police officers. Nice. And so I chatted with him, my friend Jen. You love Jen. John and Jen have a competition over who loves Baltimore more.
Well, it's not a competition.
Jen thinks it's her. John thinks it's him.
Jen thinks it's her. John knows it's him. There's a difference.
John, was it you or Jen that had a certificate made up saying you were the number one fan of Baltimore? I think you guys both made up your own competing certificate.
Each other.
Yeah. So, but anyway, a friend of hers, police officer, and he has started a program for other police officers.
Is he a city cop or a?
We'll let him answer that when he comes on the podcast. I don't know.
What a great guest.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool. He's
awesome.
He's a canine officer too. Cool. So but he just provides a lot of support to other officers, and I don't think that a lot of that's out there for them. So. So we can chat with him. But in the meantime, if you want to reach out to us or you want to be a guest or you know someone who would make a great guest, please reach out to us. You can find us at marylandlivingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can find us on Instagram at Maryland Living Podcast.
And you can find Facebook. Us on all the podcast platforms, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, you name it, we're there.
Send us a message.
Yeah, hit us in the mailbag.
Oh my gosh, every time. Talk to you soon.
Do you wanna catch a ride downtown?